Nestled between the sheer Dachstein Massif and the placid surface of its lake, Hallstatt appears as a fairy tale brought to life. Yet, the true story of this village isn't written in its charming timbered houses, but deep within the mountain that looms above. For over 7,000 years, this was the heart of a prehistoric salt mining industry, a source of white gold so vital it gave its name to an entire Iron Age epoch, the Hallstatt culture. The immense wealth extracted from these ancient tunnels, the oldest in the world, is the very reason a settlement could thrive in such a remote and challenging alpine pocket. Every steep laneway and lakeside perch is a testament to generations who carved a life from the rock, their prosperity preserved in the very salt that prevented the decay of their tools and remains. It's a profound reminder that this tranquil beauty is not an accident of nature, but the enduring legacy of a human endeavor that began when the world we know was still being forged. Perugia does not simply sit upon its hill, it commands it. This sense of indomitable presence is no accident of geography, but a deliberate, centuries-old assertion of power etched in stone. To truly understand its character, one must descend into the foundations of the Rocca Paolina, the colossal fortress erected by Pope Paul III in the mid-16th century. This was not merely a construction, but an act of subjugation. The Pope buried an entire medieval quarter, the homes of the rival Baglioni family, to create its base. Today, a series of escalators carries you through this subterranean ghost town, past the original stone doorways and vaulted ceilings of a neighborhood frozen in time. It is a profound, almost unsettling journey, a reminder that in Perugia, history is not something you look at, but something you move through, its deepest and often darkest layers lying just beneath the surface of the present. To truly grasp the spirit of Krakow, one must look past the vibrant facades of the main market square and deeper into the city's very foundation. The story begins here, at Wawel Hill, which is not merely a strategic perch for kings, but a geological marvel, a solitary Jurassic limestone outcrop, a horst thrust upward from the Vistula River plain some 150 million years ago. It is within the natural caves of this ancient rock that Poland's founding myth, the legend of the Wawel dragon, found its lair, breathing fire into the national imagination. For over 1,000 years, this same pale stone was meticulously quarried to raise the soaring walls of the cathedral and the formidable ramparts of the royal castle. In this way, the city didn't just rise upon the hill, it grew directly from it, weaving its geological DNA into its architectural tapestry. Krakow's enduring identity is therefore written not just in its chronicles, but in its very stone, a rare place where the bedrock of the earth and the bedrock of a nation are one and the same. While the glass towers of Manhattan define Frankfurt's modern identity for many, its true heart beats in the Römerberg, a city square that is both an echo and an invention. Reduced to rubble in 1944, this historic center was not merely rebuilt, it was resurrected. In a profound act of civic will, city planners chose not to impose a modern vision, but to meticulously recreate the medieval facades from surviving blueprints. This was a conscious reclamation of a legacy stretching back to the Golden Bull of 1356, the imperial decree that for over 400 years made this very ground the stage for the election of Holy Roman Emperors. Today, the carefully restored gables and half-timbered houses stand in a silent, centuries-long dialogue with the financial district looming just beyond. It's a powerful and visible testament to a city that understands its future is anchored not just in global commerce, but in the deliberate, painstaking preservation of its own foundational story. To truly understand Lisbon, one must first read the story told in the ground beneath its feet. The city's famous 7 hills are not the gentle volcanic mounds of Rome, but a dramatic topography carved by the river Tagus along ancient geological fault lines. This is a landscape born from seismic tension, a latent power brought into devastating focus on All Saints' Day, 1755, when a cataclysmic earthquake and tsunami erased much of the medieval capital. What rose from the rubble was not just a reconstruction, but a revolution in urban planning. The Baixa district, rebuilt under the Marquis of Pombal, became a pioneering grid of the world's first seismically engineered buildings, a rationalist vision imposed upon a chaotic past. Today, every steep climb up a polished limestone calzada and every breathtaking vista from a miraduro is a physical reminder of this foundational rupture and rebirth. It is a city engaged in a constant dialogue with the earth, its unique character and melancholic beauty, forged in the crucible of both geological and human resilience. To understand Ghent is to understand its unyielding spirit of defiance, a character forged in the crucible of medieval power. While the canals reflect a serene beauty, the city's history is far more turbulent. This is the home of the Stropdragers, or the noose bearers. In 1540, after a fierce tax revolt, the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, ironically a Ghent native himself, humiliated the city's nobles by forcing them to parade through the streets with nooses around their necks. Yet what was intended as a mark of shame was defiantly adopted as a badge of honor, an indelible symbol of Ghent's refusal to bow to absolute authority. You can feel this legacy etched into the very stones of the city, from the formidable Gravenstein, a count's fortress planted squarely in the urban heart, to the proud belfry, a monument not to a king or a god, but to the city's own hard-won freedoms. It's a reminder that beneath the placid surface of the waterways lies a current of fierce independence, a civic pride that has shaped its destiny for over 500 years. To approach Abydos is to understand the very meaning of its name, derived from the Latin oppidum, a fortified citadel. Its imposing medieval walls, which one can still walk today, were not merely for defense, they were the boundaries of a treasure. In the year 1282, King Dinas presented this entire town to his new bride, Queen Isabel of Aragon, as a wedding gift. This single act began a tradition that would see Abados belong to the Queens of Portugal for nearly 6 centuries, earning it the title Vila das Rainhas. This royal patronage explains the almost storybook preservation within these formidable ramparts. It wasn't just a military outpost, it was a cherished jewel box, and that legacy is etched into every whitewashed facade and bougainvillea-draped lane. Walking these cobbled streets, you sense this duality, a fortress built for war, yet maintained with a care reserved for the most precious of possessions, a living testament to the power and prestige of the queens who called it their own. Budapest presents itself as a city of two halves, Buda and Pest, gracefully divided by the Danube. Yet its true defining feature lies not on the surface, but deep beneath the riverbed. Here, a major geological fault line, a deep fissure in the Earth's crust, allows an astonishing 70 million liters of mineral-rich thermal water to surge upwards every single day. This constant warm spring is the city's lifeblood, the reason the Romans first built their provincial capital, Aquincum, on these banks. Centuries later, the occupying Ottomans constructed their ornate hammams directly over these springs, weaving their culture into the city's fabric. This subterranean inheritance was then gloriously crowned by the Art Nouveau bathhouses of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, transforming a simple geological gift into a cornerstone of civic identity. It seems the enduring character of Budapest is drawn not just from its turbulent history, but from this quiet elemental power rising from below. To truly understand Berlin, one must look beneath the pavement, beyond the celebrated and scarred layers of 20th century history. The city's famously flat, sprawling topography is no mere accident of urban planning. It is a direct and profound inheritance from the last ice age. Some 18,000 years ago, the colossal glaciers of the Weichselian glaciation began their slow, grinding retreat, scouring the earth and leaving behind a vast, sandy and waterlogged basin known as the Urstrom Tal, or Primal Stream Valley, upon which Berlin was eventually founded. This foundational swampiness is etched into the city's very identity. The name Berlin is widely thought to derive from an old Polabian Slavic word, berlo, meaning swamp or morass, a testament to the landscape encountered by its earliest settlers. This marshy, fundamentally unstable ground has forever challenged its architects, demanding deep, heroic foundations for its grandest structures. Building here has never been a simple act of construction, but a constant battle against the earth itself, with engineers driving millions of oak piles deep into the muck to find purchase for the monumental ambitions of Prussian kings and German emperors. It's a compelling and inescapable geological metaphor, a metropolis built not on solid bedrock, but on shifting glacial sands, destined from its very origins for a history defined by collapse, radical reinvention, and a relentless, almost desperate, forward momentum. To truly understand Copenhagen, one must look to the water, the very element that christened it. Its name, Copenhagen, translates to Merchant's Harbor, a title that has defined its destiny since Bishop Absalon fortified this small fishing village in the year 1167. For centuries, this was not a city of gentle canals, but a strategic stronghold, a choke point controlling the immense wealth flowing through the Øresund Strait. The city's original layout, a dense core wrapped in moats and ramparts, was a direct response to this reality, a fortress built for commerce and conflict. Today, that martial past has receded, its legacy artfully repurposed. The old defensive waterways now ferry sightseers instead of warships, and the grassy ramparts have become serene public parks. This constant dialogue between a fortified history and a profoundly open present is the essential rhythm of Copenhagen, a city that has masterfully transformed its barriers into bridges. The commanding silhouette of the Hohensalzburg fortress is an undeniable statement of power, yet the city's true foundation lies not in stone, but in salt. The very name, Salzburg, translates to Salt Fortress, a direct clue to the source of its immense wealth. For over 2,000 years, the salt mine from the nearby Dürnberg was the region's white gold, a precious commodity essential for preserving food long before the age of refrigeration. This lucrative trade, flowing down the Salzach River, financed the city's transformation from a modest Roman settlement into a magnificent ecclesiastical principality. The revenue from this humble mineral built the grand cathedrals, the opulent palaces, and fostered the cultural climate that would one day produce Mozart. It is a profound reminder that beneath the Baroque splendor and musical legacy, the story of Salzburg is, at its very core, carved from a mountain of salt. To the modern eye, Zaanse Schanze appears as a perfectly preserved postcard from a pastoral past, a landscape of gentle canals and iconic silhouettes turning slowly in the breeze. But this idyllic scene masks a revolutionary truth. This very region, the Zaanstreek, was arguably the world's first industrial zone. At its peak in the 18th century, not a dozen, but more than 600 industrial windmills crowded this horizon, their sails spinning in relentless unison. They were the high-technology engines of the Dutch Golden Age, sawing Scandinavian timber for a global shipping fleet, pressing oil from seeds, and grinding exotic spices and pigments. The rhythmic creak of their massive wooden gears was the sound of an empire being built. What we see today, these meticulously relocated houses in their signature verdigris green, these few proud survivors, is more than a quaint reconstruction. It is a living, breathing testament to an era when human ingenuity, powered by nothing more than the wind, quite literally shaped the course of history. To understand Bruges is to understand its water. These canals, now mirrors of tranquil beauty, were once the city's thrumming arteries, a direct line to the North Sea via the Zwin Inlet. For nearly 300 years, from the 12th to the 15th century, this vital connection made Bruges the commercial heart of Northern Europe, a nexus of trade and unimaginable wealth. But geology is a patient, indifferent force. The Zwin estuary began to silt up, a gradual, inexorable closing that slowly severed the city's lifeline to the world. By 1500, the great port was effectively landlocked. What we witness today is the direct result of that economic slumber. The canals, no longer churning with the traffic of nations, settled into the quiet waterways that now reflect a perfectly preserved past. Bruges was not so much abandoned as it was frozen, a magnificent relic entombed not by volcanic ash, but by the slow, relentless shifting of silt and sand. Ostuni's moniker, La Città Bianca, the White City, seems a simple descriptor for the brilliant spectacle it presents, perched high above the Pulian plains. Yet this dazzling uniformity is rooted not in aesthetics, but in centuries of stark necessity. The practice of meticulously whitewashing every surface with lime began as a desperate public health measure during the 17th century, its natural antiseptic properties forming a crucial, if primitive, defense against the spread of plague. This historical imperative, combined with the city's strategic placement atop 3 hills, also served a military purpose. The reflected glare from the sun-drenched walls would disorient and blind approaching invaders. Today, as one navigates the labyrinthine alleys, the light itself feels architectural, a tangible presence bouncing between archways and cascading down staircases. What began as a strategy for survival has evolved into the city's most profound and beautiful signature, a constant, silent reminder that its stunning appearance is a direct legacy of its will to endure. To understand Geethorn, one must look past the idyllic postcard image of its thatched roof farmhouses and tranquil canals. This is not a town that chose to live without roads. It is a town born from the very process that made roads impossible. Its story begins in the 13th century with peat cutters who came to this marshland to harvest the fuel that warmed a growing nation. They dug the peat from the earth, block by block, creating trenches and pits that inevitably filled with water. These man-made channels, carved for transporting the heavy peat on flat-bottom boats, became the village's arteries. The dry plots left between them, little more than man-made islands, were the only places to build a home. What we see today, the nearly 180 wooden bridges, the silent passage of electric whisper boats, is a beautiful accidental consequence. A landscape sculpted by centuries of grueling labor has, over time, settled into one of the world's most unique and serene expressions of harmony between human industry and the quiet insistence of water. To stand in Innsbruck is to feel a profound sense of compression, a city held in the magnificent embrace of the Alps. The sheer verticality of the Nordkette Range, rising almost 2,000 meters directly from the city's edge, is more than just a dramatic backdrop. It is the city's defining partner. The very name, Innsbruck, reveals its essential purpose, the bridge over the Inn. For centuries, this strategic point in the valley commanded the critical trade and military routes, most notably the Brenner Pass, linking the Germanic north with the Italian south. This wasn't a remote mountain outpost, it was a vital artery of empires. The Habsburgs understood this, transforming the town into an imperial jewel box, its elegant facades a testament to the wealth and power that flowed through these very streets. It is this enduring duality, a sophisticated urban heart, born of continental crossroads, yet forever tethered to the raw, untamed wilderness at its doorstep, that gives Innsbruck its singular, captivating soul. To truly understand Amsterdam, one must look beneath the shimmering surface of its canals and grasp the sheer audacity of its creation. This entire metropolis, a jewel of the 17th century Golden Age, rests not on solid ground, but on a vast man-made forest of millions of wooden piles, laboriously driven deep into the marsh and clay below. Consider the Royal Palace on Dam Square. This colossal structure is supported by more than 13,600 of these timber pillars, a foundation unseen but utterly essential. This constant, centuries-long battle against water is the hidden architect of the city's character. As the soft ground has subtly shifted over time, so too have the foundations, giving the iconic gabled houses their famous, slightly precarious lean. It's a quiet, pervasive reminder that this city wasn't simply discovered. It was meticulously, defiantly willed into existence. A testament not to conquering nature, but to coexisting with it through extraordinary human ingenuity. The landscape of the Langhe unfolds not as a series of mountains, but as a gentle, rhythmic ocean of hills. This is no mere metaphor. 5 million years ago, during the Pliocene epoch, this entire region lay submerged beneath the Ligurian Sea. The very ground here is a testament to that aquatic past, a compressed seabed of calcareous marls and sandstone, still rich with the fossilized memory of marine life. This unique geological inheritance, known as terroir, is the fundamental secret to what grows here. It is this ancient soil that forces the roots of the Nebbiolo grape to struggle, concentrating the flavors that will become the world-renowned Barolo and Barbaresco wines. It's also what creates the precise, humid conditions required by the elusive white truffle of Alba. To walk these hills is to tread upon a former ocean floor, and to taste its bounty is, in a very real sense, to connect with a world that has long since vanished beneath the vines. The Serra de Tramuntana, Mallorca's formidable backbone, is more than a dramatic geological feature. It is a meticulously crafted landscape telling a story of human ingenuity. Its sheer limestone cliffs and deep valleys were tamed over centuries, most profoundly by the Moors who arrived in the 10th century. They introduced an ingenious system of underground water channels, the qanats, and the enduring art of dry stone walling, creating thousands of kilometers of terraces, or marges, that cascade down the mountainside. This ancient engineering, now protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Cultural Landscape, is the very reason for the silver-green shimmer of olive groves that cling to these impossibly steep slopes. It is the why behind this sculpted environment, a system designed to capture and channel water, the island's most precious resource, to sustain life in an otherwise unforgiving terrain. What we see today is not simply nature, but a living chronicle etched in stone, a testament to more than 1,000 years of resilience and a profound symbiotic relationship between the people and the mountain. To stand here is to witness an architectural defiance of gravity, an idea that seems to have sprung from the very rock it clings to. The famed hanging houses of Cuenca are not a whimsical flourish, but a direct response to a landscape sculpted by immense geological time. For millions of years, the Huecar and Jucar rivers have patiently carved their way through this limestone plateau, creating the sheer-walled gorge that made the city a natural fortress for Moorish and later Christian inhabitants. It was on this dramatic stage, with space at an absolute premium, that builders in the 15th century made a bold decision. When you can no longer build up, you must build out. Today, though only 3 of the original structures remain, they serve as a powerful testament to ingenuity born of necessity. Cuenca is more than a city perched on a cliff. It is a physical dialogue between human ambition and the patient. Relentless power of water, a place where the boundary between the natural and the man-made simply dissolves into the sky. To approach Volterra is to understand that this is a city in a constant, silent conversation with the land it occupies. The dramatic, crumbling cliffs known as the Balze are not merely a scenic backdrop. They are an active geological force. Formed from Pliocene clays and sand, these friable foundations have been collapsing for millennia, a process of slow, inexorable erosion that has claimed entire Etruscan necropolises and even a 7th century church, swallowing history whole. This precariousness lends the city an air of defiant permanence, a fortress of alabaster and stone perched on a hill that is slowly giving way. Every ancient archway and weathered wall seems to stand in quiet testament to this delicate balance between human endurance and the immense, patient power of nature. Here, more than almost anywhere in Tuscany, one feels the profound truth that a city is not just built upon the earth, but is perpetually shaped, threatened, and ultimately defined by it. To truly understand Barcelona, one must look beyond its famed architectural wonders and see the foundational logic of the city itself. When Barcelona broke free from its medieval walls in the mid-19th century, its expansion was not a haphazard sprawl, but a radical utopian vision. The engineer Ildefons Cerdà envisioned the new Ixample district as a scientific formula for a healthier, more equitable society. He meticulously calculated the volume of air each resident required, which gave birth to the iconic octagonal city blocks. These chamfered corners, or chaflains, were a stroke of genius, designed not just for aesthetics, but to flood intersections with light and air, improve visibility, and create miniature public plazas. This precise, almost democratic geometry dictates the city's modern rhythm, a steady, breathable pulse that contrasts sharply with the beautifully chaotic tangle of the Gothic Quarter. It serves as a profound testament to how a single, forward-thinking plan can become a city's living blueprint, shaping the very way its people move, breathe, and connect over 150 years later. To truly understand Hamburg, one must look beyond the postcard image of its harbor and listen to the whispers of its waterways. The city boasts more bridges than Venice, Amsterdam, and London combined, over 2,500 of them. But this is no mere quirk of geography. It is a testament to a history forged in fire. The Great Fire of 1842 consumed nearly a third of the old city, a catastrophe that became an unlikely catalyst for reinvention. From the ashes rose a new urban plan, one that rationalized the ancient network of canals, or flete, into the engineered arteries we see today. Each span of steel and stone is therefore not just a crossing, but a deliberate stitch in the fabric of a city that was forced to rebuild itself from its very foundations. It's a landscape that reveals a profound truth, that here, destruction and creation are not opposites, but two sides of the same, ever-flowing current. To truly understand Madeira, one must look past its immediate floral splendor and see the island for what it is, the exposed summit of a colossal shield volcano born from fire some 6 million years ago. This violent geological past is the very secret to its present-day Eden. The rich basaltic soil nourishes not only the terraced vineyards clinging to impossible slopes, but also the primeval laurisilva forest, a subtropical relic from the Tertiary period that once covered much of southern Europe. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is more than a collection of trees. It is a living window into a world that vanished 20 million years ago. The island's precipitous terrain, a direct legacy of its volcanic creation, demanded an extraordinary response from its settlers. They carved more than 2,100 kilometers of levadas, intricate irrigation channels that contour the mountainsides, carrying precious water from the damp north to the sun-drenched south. These stone-lined waterways are not merely infrastructure, they are the island's arteries, a testament to a centuries-long dialogue between human ambition and a formidable ancient landscape. The first impression of Girona is often one of impossible architecture, a cascade of pastel facades suspended over the river Onyar. Yet this celebrated view is a beautiful deception, for these are not merely riverfront homes, but the modern face of the city's ancient defenses. Their foundations are fused directly into the remnants of the Roman and later medieval walls that once guarded this strategic confluence of 4 rivers. The vibrant ochres and siennas that now define the skyline are a relatively recent flourish, an intentional palette applied less than 4 decades ago, transforming formidable stone ramparts into the backbones of domestic life. It's a profound act of adaptation, a visual testament to a city that has chosen not to encase its past in glass, but to inhabit it. Here, history is not cordoned off. It is lived in, a constant, quiet dialogue between a fortified past and a vibrant present, etched into the very stones of the city. Etched into a section of the old city wall is a simple, powerful assertion. Aqui nasceu Portugal. Portugal was born here. This is no mere civic boast, but a direct reference to a pivotal moment in the 12th century. It was here, in the year 1128, that the young nobleman Afonso Henriques triumphed at the Battle of São Mamede, defeating the forces.